Welcome to Parlay Power Hour. What hour of the day is this, boys?
The best hour of your day.
Best hour of your day, best day of your week. It's the best everything because you know what? The electric factory is in session and the boys are buzzing. It's his Parlay Power Hour for June 29, 2021. I'm joined by co-host Will the Wizard Reed. He goes first today because you know why? He's not he picks smart picks. I was going to call you dumb, but you're not dumb, Grant. You're a smart guy. You just don't know how to pick baseball. Will the Wizard Reed, 27, 19, and 4. How you doing, Will?
You know, another 2-2 day yesterday. I should really start going for my guts sometimes. The Lightning did win by more than 2 goals yesterday, as I thought they might on the show yesterday morning, but they won 5-1. They covered the over. I went with the under on that one. That's my bad. I should really get back to my gut feeling on these hockey picks, but you know, we'll have a better day today.
Grant, the one and only Mitchell, the one and only loser Mitchell, 44 and 37. How you doing, Grant?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. My record isn't great. I don't pick the winners of the division every game, unlike some other people on the show. You know, I try to have some fun. I picked the Royals yesterday. They only lost by 1. I picked them on the money line. If I picked them on the spread, I would have gotten it. I would have covered. Or they would have covered, but I tried to win some extra money, got too greedy, got bit in the butt. But we're coming back strong today. Got some soccer bets. I'm back in my element here.
So I got to throw my free advertising in here. Subscribe to the Sports 2.0 network on YouTube. So much great content on there. Wanted to throw that in there before I start trashing Grant right now. Okay, so you say I pick division winners, first of all. You say I pick division winners. Maybe they're division winners, but you know what? I picked the Red Sox plus 105 on Friday night. They won that game. They win Saturday. They win Sunday. You tell me they're going to lose last night. They win last night. They weren't a heavy favorite last night. They win on the money line. They cover on the over. And you know what? It looked good for you for a minute, like when Garrett freaking Richards, the over king, gave up like 3 bombs in the first and second inning. But the Red Sox battled back like I knew my team would. Red Sox over 10.5, money line win. I'm going to start with William. He can trash Grant first because he was on my side yesterday. Grant's an idiot, isn't he?
Well, I mean, once you informed me that the game was at the packed Fenway Park, I was like, I don't see anyone beating the Red Sox right now when they have the fans behind them after a sweep of the Yankees over the weekend. So I saw the Red Sox as my favorite in this game. The over, I mean, you said it here, Garrett Richards, the over king. That one felt pretty comfortable to me. I just don't know where Grant was going for either of these picks yesterday. He was pretty foolish.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I thought the Red Sox were going to take 2 or 3 from the Yankees, and then after that, I committed. I said, I'm going to believe in my team. Every single day they take the field, I'm going to believe in my team. Grant does not believe in the Red Sox. He's a Red Sox hater. He picked the freaking Royals last night. Grant, you can apologize now.
I was wrong.
That's not much of an apology, Grant.
It should be. You should say, "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry for being an idiot.
You didn't thank me for the 44 games I got right. I'm not apologizing for the 37 I got wrong.
And if I picked 50 games in one day too, I mean, I get to 44 pretty quickly, Grant. Come on now. All right. Well, Grant, you're an idiot. You should pick the Red Sox. Listen to me next time. But you got some good picks today. I think you got a decent chance today. We got a little soccer. Again, you know, Grant's one of the only people who care about soccer, but a little prop bet here. Ukraine versus Sweden, both teams to score. I'm going to tell a quick little funny story here. I only set my ESPN alerts to baseball, but I got an alert that France lost yesterday. I was telling Grant this. That's how big a deal this Euro 2020 thing is. So you know what? Euro 2020 might be stealing a little bit of my heart right now, Grant. I'm going to say that. Ukraine versus Sweden, both teams to score plus 102. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, this isn't anything like that upset was yesterday. I think France was minus 700 against Switzerland. I don't know if that's what it finished at, but I think that's around what it opened at. Just incredible numbers. And, you know, Switzerland pulled off the unbelievable. That's why we love soccer. That's why it's called the beautiful game. But Ukraine and Sweden, both teams to score here. Neither of these teams were expected to make the knockout stage here. So the fact that they're here, they're both going to be playing with house money. I think they're both going to be very attacking. We've seen Ukraine loves to get on the counterattack. They score a lot of goals with Yarmolenko leading the charge up front. They have good players in midfield like Zinchenko, normally a left back, but he's been able to get forward for his national team here. And Sweden, they scored 3 goals against Poland. That's not exactly Very resolute team defensively, but it's still something considering they were thought to be without a goal scorer since Ibrahimovic wouldn't be joining them at the tournament. So both teams to score here. I like this one. I was looking at some of the props. I was thinking about over 2.5 goals. But I could see this game, if it's tied at the end of regulation, going to penalties. So I thought this would be the safer bet here. Both teams to score, plus 102, good odds. That's what I got.
I mean, I like that. I'm not going to argue with that because partially I don't know anything about soccer, and I'm proud of that. Will, I know you're a big soccer guy. Let's hear it.
I put a bet in on this game too. We talk about that a little bit later, but I'll listen to Grant here on this one. He seems to know what he's talking about when it comes to this Euro 2020 nonsense that I don't watch. But yeah, I'll go with Grant on this one. But I did decide to take this soccer bet right here, the Sweden money line versus Ukraine. I did some reading. I heard Ukraine was a little overrated. They were 1-2 in the group stage, but managed to make it to this round of 16 because they had one singular win against, I think it was North Macedonia. And I was hating on North Macedonia about a week ago, and it worked out for me. And so I'm 1-0 in soccer bets. I'm going to take this Sweden money line versus Ukraine. Hopefully they pull through for me, but I have really nothing else to say about it besides what Grant already mentioned.
All right, and you know what? I have nothing to say about soccer, so we're going to move on to the next thing. All right, let's go to the diamond here. We got the Padres. Freaking Padres. Got to love the Padres. -1.5. This is a little run line bet because Grant says I'm not a risk taker, even though if you go back, you check the film, I am one of the biggest risk takers in the game today. Blake Snell on the bump for the San Diego Padres. He is going against Santillan for the Reds. Listen, the Reds have a horrendous pitching staff. I wrote an article this morning why the Reds cannot win the National League Central Division. They cannot win the National League Central Division because of their pitching. Obviously, they can hit with the best teams in baseball right now. But Blake Snell, we see last year, World Series, Blake Snell tonight. He gets the job done. He shuts down the Reds. Padres hit the baseball. Fernando Tatis bat flips, go with run line covers. Bat flips, run line covers. That's all you got to know about this one. Grant, Tanner Hater, a.k.a. Grant. Why do you think this is not going to go in my favor tonight?
Well, again, not a risk taker. You're picking a 47-33 team. No, if you, yeah, whatever. Blake Snell, I agree. I think he's been uncharacteristically off. All jokes aside, I think he does. I think this is a good bet. I think he rounds back into shape. But what's interesting, if you look at the numbers just from this season alone, the Reds actually have the advantage in the pitching matchup tonight. Now, like I said, I expect, what you talked about, the postseason Blake Snell, I think he comes back in full force. So I'll roll with the Padres here. But the Reds could have a very sneaky chance here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, Grant. I do agree with that. I just like the Padres to cover at night. William, me and Grant are agreeing. What kind of day is this? What kind of day is this right now? Will, what do you think of this one?
Oddly enough, I think I'm going to agree with you guys too, but I think it's going to come down to probably some Padres runs in the latter half of this game against the Reds bullpen. I think Blake Snell will probably have a pretty good game. You said who was on the mound for the Reds?
Santillan.
Oh, well, so I guess we'll see about that, but maybe the Reds or the Padres get to him. I think this one's going to be pretty close going into the latter half of this game, and I think the Padres probably get to the Reds bullpen. Maybe cover this run line. -102 odds, those are pretty solid, so I don't mind this bet.
Tatis,
that's the best part of this bet. -102 on the run line. That's a good bet to take.
Yeah, it's not like that Astros -150 something on the run line and get the Orioles last night. So we're gonna go the hardwood here. Grant, you're taking the under in the Hawks-Bucks game. Will is taking a team on the spread. We will reveal that in a minute here. Thank you for not taking like 15 picks in this game, Grant. We really appreciate it. Spread the love a little bit. You got the under 218.5. Why do you think this game's going under?
I think this game's going under because Trae Young is hurt and, case closed. There's not much else to it. We've seen that he has still been able to be effective as a distributor. He's averaging just under 10 assists per game. But in that Game 7 win over the Philadelphia 76ers, where Trae Young struggled, he shot 5 for 23 from the field. The team did not score a bunch of points. They scored 103 in total, which obviously would not be doing their part to cover the over here. I think that the Bucks jump out to an early lead. I don't think Khris Middleton gets 38 again, but I think he's found his rhythm. And we've seen Drew Holiday's been consistently playing well over the past couple of games. And the Hawks just have no answer for Giannis defensively. So with those three rolling right now, Trae Young being injured, even if he plays, like I said, he's not going to be 100%. I think that the Bucks get the early lead. They hold them at about 15 to 20 points down for most of the game. Hawks give up early. Bucks win, we'll say, somewhere around 118 to 98.
Now, I'm going to go down to Will here. He's got the Bucks at -7 against the Hawks. But, we talked about the Hawks being that team that just doesn't care. They're going to play everything hard. They're not going to give up. And you think the Bucks are going to blow them off the court tonight, Will? I'm offended as a bandwagon Atlanta Hawks fan right now.
Well, I just think it came down to what Grant said. The injuries for the Trae Young, for the Hawks, he might not be his full self. He might be able to put in some buckets, still play make, but other than that, he won't be doing too much for the Hawks. And the Bucks, as Grant was mentioning, they found the rhythm. Khris Middleton, 38 points last game. Giannis had over 30. Drew Holiday's been playing better. They just look like the better team right now. So I feel pretty good about the Hawks covering the spread against the Hawks, or the Bucks covering the spread against the Hawks.
All right.
One more thing I do want to throw in about my side of the bet with the under here is the Bucks would have done their part to cover this line in the past 4 games. So if you're rolling with me here, then you also kind of have to roll with Will and assume that the Hawks are going to lose by a substantial amount if the under is going to hit.
All right, so you guys are teamed up again against me. Not really against me, but I don't have much of an input on this game, but you know what? Wouldn't surprise me if the Hawks surprise some people tonight. Even without Trae Young, if he plays, like you said, might not play. I think he still shows up. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-game situations. These guys are pros. If they're injured, it doesn't matter. All right, Khris Middleton, over 23.5 points. Will, why do you like this prop?
I mean, he almost covered this point total in the fourth quarter last game. He outscored the Hawks 20-17 in the fourth quarter of Game 3. This seems pretty good for me, as Grant mentioned, and as I doubled down, he's found his rhythm. He's starting to hit shots from deep. He's starting to hit that mid-range that he was signature with in the regular season. I think he covers this pretty easily. Gets to about 28 points tonight. Helps the Bucks to cover the -7 spread and take a 3-1 advantage in the series.
Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, this one is risky, and I'm going to quote one of the other members of our panel on the Sports 2.0 show, Akshay Kumbar. He calls Khris Middleton the most inconsistent player in the league in terms of scoring, and I think that's spot on because you never know what you're going to get from him. One day he's putting up 15, shooting 20% from the field. The next he's scoring 40 on 60%, making 6 threes. So it's very hard to predict what he's going to do. He's averaging just over 23 for the postseason. I think he's gone over this total 5 or 6 times so far in the playoffs here. I'm going to say, obviously we talked about I have the Bucks winning big, so I'll go with Middleton over 23.5. And I think Drew Holiday will be right around there too, for what it's worth.
Yeah, the inconsistency does scare me with this bet, but again, Will's a risk taker. Will don't care about inconsistency. I'm getting tongue-tied on Parlay Power Hour. I'm so freaking fired up right now. But anyways, Dodgers money line. This is why I'm fired up. The Dodgers are back in business. Cody Bellinger, home run, bat flip. That's all you got to know about this game. Actually, one more thing. You got to know about the pitching matchup. First of all, I think this is a little disrespectful to the Giants. I think the FanDuel bookmakers, I think every bookmaker right now, it's disrespectful to the Giants. Kevin Guzman is on the mound tonight for San Francisco. He has been sensational this year. Sensational. But you know why the bookmakers are favoring the Dodgers? Grant, why are the bookmakers favoring the Dodgers tonight?
Is it your boy Walker Buehler?
Walker freaking Buehler is on the bump tonight. The next Clayton Kershaw in Los Angeles. We can talk about Trevor Bauer, the highest paid pitcher in baseball. Bauer's really good. I'm not going to lie. Bauer's the reigning Mickey Mouse Cy Young Award winner. But Walker Buehler is the next Clayton Kershaw in LA. He is going to throw a gem tonight. He's been sensational this year, just like Guzman. And you know what's going to make the difference tonight? Grant, what what's going to make the difference in this game? Getting tongue-tied. I'm so fired up for the Dodgers, baby.
Is Max Muncy going to hit another one 700 yards out of the park?
No. Max Muncy will not hit another one tonight. You know what? He could hit another one, but you know who makes the difference tonight?
Tell me.
Cody Bellinger. That's what you got to know. He's hit 3 home runs all season. He hit 2 this past weekend. That's what you got to know. He's been injured all season. Walker Buehler, Cody Bellinger, Dave Roberts, Trevor Bauer, Justin Turner, Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, even though he's injured right now, they're going to the promised land tonight. They're sweeping the Giants in 2 games. And by the way, whoever made this Major League Baseball schedule and made a 2-game series between the Dodgers and the Giants is an idiot. Will, what do you think about this one?
I just have one question for you, Tanner. I know you started this yesterday, but is this your Tanner Kern lock of the day?
Did my lock of the day hit yesterday? It was Red Sox, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This is the Tanner Kern Parlay Power Hour presented by the Sports 2.0 Network. Lock of the day. Dodgers money line -146. Lock it up. All right, so we're going to head back to the pitch, as they like to say. England versus Germany. Germany plus 200. Grant's a little risk taker right now. Talk to me about this one.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting game in terms of the buildup behind it. England has a historically terrible record against Germany, and this game is taking place in the most famous stadium in England, which is Wembley Stadium. So, we joke about how Scotland might be at home playing against Poland and Russia, but this game is actually England at home in England against Germany. And Germany was not allowed to practice on the pitch that they will be playing at leading up to this tournament because there was heavy rainfall in England. And they thought that if players got to practice on it, it would rip up the field and it wouldn't be in a good condition for the game. So whereas England's played there a bunch of times and they have their home fans behind them, Germany has not played there since, I don't know the last time they traveled there, but they're not well practiced on this surface. Germany, England, both been very disappointing. England won their group, but it doesn't really matter. They won 2 games 1-0 against inferior competition, and then they drew 1-0 with Scotland, who's like the annoying little cousin who always tries to talk to you and you just push them off to the side. And Germany, they finished second in their group, but boy, that's only because they beat Portugal 4-2, and they looked pretty bad in the other games here. I'm going with Germany in this one, even though they're having troubles with their manager. I think he's more of a tactician than England's manager, Gareth Southgate. This game actually got underway at 12 o'clock today. I haven't checked any scores update just to keep the integrity of this pick here. Obviously, we're an hour behind normal, so I had picked this one like we would be going at 11:30. But, yeah, I just trust Germany more than England in this one. Both teams have been disappointing, so it's a shame I have to pick one of them to win, but I'll take the Germans.
Grant, I love that the proof you had of why the Germans are going to beat the English today. But one thing I'm going to say, if you're blaming like the surf, the ground, they haven't played there. Everyone has the same grass.
Well, it can make a difference because sometimes, like we talked about it being super rainy over there. If the field is still wet, then that can slow down the speed of your passes, which actually makes a huge difference. We saw it in the Champions League semifinal between Chelsea and Real Madrid. These are world-class players who can pass the ball 70 yards diagonally across the field, and they couldn't pass the ball 5 yards to each other because everything was thrown off so much. Sometimes you have different dimensions with how much space is left on the side to the dugout. So, yeah, it makes a difference. I ran track and field in high school and college, and, pretty much every track is exactly the same. But every time we got there, the first thing you do is you do a couple laps just to familiarize yourself with the surface.
Will, do you think a football player, like a real football player, American football player, would complain that the ground's a little wet? So they gotta obviously it makes a difference in the ball, but do you think these football players, these offensive linemen would be complaining, oh, the ground's a little wet today, it's going to make it really hard to block someone? No, they're just going to go out and do their job, in my opinion. What do you think, Will?
No, the more wet the field, the more fun the game kind of was in my football experience. Like get the pads muddy, get the helmet muddy, get some grass stuck up in your helmet in the in the face shield. It was exciting.
Yep.
When did I say they were complaining? All I said was that they're not well practiced at this venue.
Well, you said that was the storyline of the game, so
Well, you said they weren't well practiced at this venue, but then you choose them to win. So I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's why they're plus 200. England's plus 120.
Okay. All right, Grant. Oh, we hear you. We hear you, buddy. All right. Phillies, Marlins. We're going back to the American sports. This is America. It's 4th of July week. We're talking about America today. Phillies, Marlins, under 9. I love this under bet. I did not take the under. I took another bet in this game. Will, why do you like the under?
I mean, you got the jersey on. We got Trevor Rogers on the mound for the Marlins. I think he's going to have a stellar game. Come back from, I think he lost his last outing. So I think he's going to come back from that performance, and he's going to take it in this one, take it to the Phillies, make sure he keeps this game under. I think the Marlins put up probably 5-6 runs, but then the Phillies put up about 2 against Trevor Rogers. I think this one stays under.
Grant, what do you think?
I mean, I would love to take the over, but our boy Wander Franco has wandered off the face of the earth. He's sitting under 200. So I'll take the under here too.
All right, so let's get into my final bet of the day. Marlins money line minus 112 versus the Phillies. Marlins on the money line. Trevor Rogers on the bump. It's Trevor Rogers Day. I'm proclaiming that it's Trevor Rogers Day today. He is going to be the next pitcher, great pitcher of this generation. Trevor Rogers gets the job done today. Velasquez on the mound for the Phillies. They don't stand a chance. Marlins push across enough to win. It's going to be a low-scoring game, like Will said. But I do like the Marlins on the money line today, and that will do it.
Wait,
what?
I was wondering if you saw the video from about 2 weeks ago where the Marlins rookies were walking out of Wrigley Field. They had to pick up the whole team donuts, and the fans didn't care about anybody else except for Trevor Rogers.
Because no one on the Marlins has any significance besides their pitching staff and Trevor Rogers.
I like Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at Chaz Chisholm. I think he's their youngest player. How old is Chaz Chisholm? It's like mid 20s probably. Everyone else is like over 30 on their team. They need a rebuild. They need a big rebuild, and because they have a pitching staff that can win. That's why it's frustrating. Grant, do you want to chime in on the Marlins winning this game today, or no?
Trevor Rogers. I'm on board.
There you go. Trevor Rogers gets the job done today. That was Parlay Power Hour for June 29th. Final thoughts, guys. We'll start with Grant because he made an excellent soccer pick today.
I made 2 of them, and that's why I'm going 3-0 today. Back to undefeated ways. Check in tomorrow.
That's good because you made 6 bets yesterday. You lost 2 before the show even stopped. Before the show even got off the air with the Red Sox. All right, Will. Final thoughts.
Yeah, this soccer game that I bet on is at 3 p.m. Maybe I tune in. Maybe I don't. Probably not. It's just soccer, so I probably won't be watching this game. But hopefully today's a better day. I'm looking for 4-0.
My final thought is Will's got to get his Wi-Fi together. That's my final thought.
Maybe Will's internet will tune in for the next show.
Yeah, there we go. So that does it, guys. Have a happy Tuesday. We only got 4 more days to the weekend, but you get 3 more Parlay Power Hours. Parlay Power Hour for June 29, 2021, guys. Have a great one, and we will talk to you soon.